So this is a popular argument that many Christians of the modern day, post-slavery, utilize to separate Jesus, the Jesus character, from the evil Old Testament God who endorsed slavery in Leviticus 25 and endorsed the slavery of people of a foreign nation to be property and passed on from generation to generation as property. So in order to separate that, they use a common verses that are in, you can find in Matthew and Mark, where it talks about Jesus saying that whether free man or bond man, that he has come to, and they take that and make it seem like he's come and is talking about freeing people from a mental slavery and not a physical captive slavery, that Jesus didn't endorse slavery. But in that same instance, where Jesus was speaking about free man and bond man, it is the lack of the Jesus character actually saying, hey, slavery is wrong. No man should own another man. No man should own a woman through marriage, or no man should own a woman through servitude. It is the lack of Jesus expressing that explicitly is showing his condoning of the issue. If Jesus was here to equate all people as the children of God and equate all people as having opportunity to believe in him and then become one with himself and with God and be able to have the kingdom, then that separation, then that kingdom should be verified on earth. Because what did your Jesus also say? He said that the kingdom of God is at hand, that the kingdom of God is before you. Saying that is at hand, meaning that the kingdom of God is here, spread out along the earth. And in the Gospel of Thomas, he says that explicitly. And I know that that's an extra canonical, well, it's a non-canonical gospel. But in the early church, many read and believed on the Gospel of Thomas. They were only eliminated because the orthodoxy took over Christianity when they were being backed by the Roman government. So in this instance, saying that the kingdom of God is spread out all over the earth, and to take that and put it into a mindset of it is a spiritual kingdom and not an earthly kingdom, was done for two reasons. One, the Jews expected that Jesus, that the Messiah, was going to be a earthly ruler, that he was going to free the Jews from the captivity of whoever was controlling them at the time. And in this case, Jesus would have been freeing them physically from the Romans. But since he did not do that, and in order to maintain Jesus as a Messiah, the doctrine began to change what the Messiah was supposed to be and make him more of a being that was going to free people in a spiritual format instead of a physical format. Now, I will submit to you, it would have been much more believable to accept Jesus as a Messiah if he physically freed the Jewish people from the Roman captivity, if he physically spoke on how no one should own someone in this kingdom that is spread out amongst the earth, that equality of men and women is something that we should live now and not wait for in heavenly kingdom, because your Jesus is speaking of whatever is done on earth is done in heaven above. He says that whatever you do on earth, whatever you bind on earth is bound in heaven. If he's binding slavery, then it's in heaven, then it should be bound on earth. But your Jesus lacked that, and therefore your Jesus condoned what the Old Testament God instructed. And therefore, since he said he come to take not one tittle from the Old Testament, nothing from the law, but to just fulfill it, the fulfillment of the law is maintaining the idea that those who are born of foreign nations around you and those of foreign nations can be taken as slaves and passed on for generation to generation. Jesus didn't come believing that slavery was a wrong thing, was immoral, because he was a product of the writers of the culture to which he was written in. And the writers of that culture believed that slavery was moral. Slavery did not become immoral until the 20th century. So therefore, this is just a mind gaining and gentle and mental gymnastics, and Christians renegotiating the character of Jesus in order to fit him into modern day society, in the same way that during slavery they made Jesus fit into their modern day society. So you have a great day, and remember always, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.